Hello everyone, my name is Michael Lamott and I am the founder of ChartYourTrade.com. Our goal is to inspire millions of hardworking people just like you to take advantage of the stock market. And the reason why is because it's one of the best opportunities that we all have access to in order to find financial freedom for ourselves, for our family, and to secure the future that we want to have. So to help you on your journey, I want to talk to you a little bit today about some sell rules. And the sell rule that I want to talk to you about is a sell of a break of an upper channel line. It comes from this book. It comes from this book right here, How to Make Money in Stocks by William O'Neill. It's one of my favorite investing books of all time. If you haven't checked it out yet, I definitely recommend giving it a read. Actually, give it a few reads. I studied this one like a textbook, and it is phenomenal. A lot of great information in that book. And so one of the major sell rules that Bill O'Neill came up with when he was studying the markets was that when a stock has been trending upwards for a very long period of time, about 18 months, and it forms this channel, and if you draw a trend line connecting the tops of the weeks of price, if it breaks above that upper channel line, then that is a sign that the move is starting to get a little bit extended and that it might be done. And so therefore it's a sell rule. Now the way that I look at the sell rule is that, yeah, it's a sell rule, but you don't necessarily want to sell everything at that point because it could continue to go much higher. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I like to sell in stages. If the stock is running up for that extended period of time, breaks that upper channel line, it's been historically proven that you're probably going to end up with a pullback. Either that or the move could be done for a little while, and so there'll end up being better opportunities out there, so you want to sell. I don't like to sell everything all at once, so what I do is I'll sell a little bit offensively, so that way I'm locking in some gains at that point, but then I'll tighten up my stops and I will let the rest continue to run. And in my back pocket and in the back of my mind, I know that, okay, it's starting to show some major sell signals. Maybe it's time to be a little bit more aggressive with how I'm going to exit that stock while still allowing some upward momentum. So let's take a look at some of these breaks of an upper channel line in action on some charts. Okay, so the example that I have for you is Applied Optoelectronics. The ticker symbol is AAOI. I feel like I've been picking on this one quite a bit recently, but it really does give us a lot of great examples for sell rules, for classic sell rules, a lot of sell rules that we got from this book here. So let's take a look at this latest sell rule of a stock breaking an upper channel line and that signaling the end of a run. Okay, so looking at AAOI, it started to form this upper channel line back in February, and it finally broke above that upper channel line in July. Right, so it was consistently butting its head up against that line. It started back there in February, kind of pokes its nose above it just a little bit, but it's more of a closing basis. I also want to mention that we're looking at AAOI on a weekly chart. For this particular rule, you really want to apply it on a weekly chart versus a daily chart because it's a longer term kind of a rule, right? We want to see this develop over 18 or more weeks, ideally. So it'll be a lot easier to see that on a weekly chart, but also you can't draw it quite as accurately on a daily chart as you can on a weekly chart. It's just the way that the price action tends to fall, and you want a full week's worth of data versus just having the daily bars. So when you're drawing this, the point is, when you're drawing it, draw it on the weekly chart, and that's the way that Bill O'Neill did it. That's the way that I'm doing it here for you. All right, so anyway, back to the chart. So it started this back in February, and it butts its nose up against it in March, towards the end of March, March 27th, on May 22nd, May 29th, and all through the end of July. And then in the middle of July, it finally breaks above that channel line, and then we see 2 weeks later, and it collapses. So very classic case of a signal of a stock that's getting ready to end, right? So if you are looking at both daily and weekly charts, and this is one of the reasons why I always encourage everybody to, even if you're trading off of a daily chart, take a look at the other time frames, take a look at the weekly time frames, know these kinds of rules, and then it will also be a clue that, hey, something's going on, then maybe I should exit this stock. Okay, so here's another example of seeing that upper channel break, and it's not always as clear cut. So AAOI was very clear cut. Here's an example where it's not as clear cut. So let's take a look at this one. The ticker is WB. This is one that I'm in presently, WIBO Corp, and we can see that it started to form this upper trend line going all the way back from August of 2016, and it touches that trend line multiple times, and then it finally broke above that trend line towards the end of August. Shortly thereafter, it did pull back, but so far it's been getting support at the 10-week line. So what do? Well, there's a lot of different ways that you could play a stock, and just because a stock breaks a trend line or triggers some kind of a rule like this one, this is more of a rule that says, okay, when this happens, in the majority of cases that Bill looked at for leading stocks, he saw that the stock's move tended to be over for at least a short amount of time, that it needed some time to rest, that it was getting extended. Okay, so it breaks above that trend line there, right? So it needs to pull back, find a little bit of time to rest. Where's support? Support is at the 10-week line. It bounced off of it right there. Didn't do it on very heavy volume, but it did find support at the 10-week line, and it was also relatively close to its prior base, right? So it's within the zone of support, and while it could be signaling that maybe the bigger move might be over, it's not really a place where I would exit all of my shares just yet. In fact, in my swing trading account, I actually started a fresh position right over here, right? So let's take a look at that. So I started a new position right there just the other day, because it caught support at the 50-day moving average, and it was breaking out of that little consolidation. So it was a great place to add a low risk, potentially high reward trade, since I was able to, like I said in a prior video, have my entry point here and have my exit very close to where I would enter. But anyway, back to this. So yeah, in a longer term account, I would be looking at that as, this this break over here as, okay, maybe it's time to start thinking about where I'm going to exit. Maybe I'm taking a little bit off the table. Maybe I'm raising my stops on this trade. But from a shorter term swing trading perspective, knowing this information down here in the weekly chart is good to know in case if I start to see weakness, then it gives me a signal of, okay, this could be why, and maybe I should be thinking about exiting a little bit faster. But it also gives me that more immediate kind of a trade where it's a shorter term swing trade, holding it for a couple of weeks to maybe a month or so, depending on what the stock does. But anyway, that's how you could use this trend line break rule to help your trading, and to regardless of whatever time frame you happen to be trading. Just one of those rules that's good to know and will help you out. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly, truly appreciate it. If you like this video, please click the like button and also subscribe to our channel so that way you make sure that you receive all of our videos. Also, take a moment, leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know if you have any questions or if you're struggling with anything. I will personally answer you and try to help you out. And that's really about it. I hope you got a lot out of it, and thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon.